For the last 3 months, we've sold our high price coaching, 30K packages and above with 0 sales calls and 0 sales team. And I'll show you how we do it. So today we're gonna lay out why sales calls are great in some experiences, some situations, but also why you probably don't need them. And frankly, to be super transparent, you've been lied to by a bunch of gurus, including moi, because I didn't know any better. So the last 3 months, we've been able to successfully sell our coaching without sales calls. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. There are 3 things that we've learned that have made a tremendous difference. 1 to the offer, 1 to the sales process, and 1 to the marketing. And so that's really what we're going to cover today. There is a 14-page, I think it is, workbook that you can grab in the description below. There's nothing to buy today. My only ask is that you click the subscribe button because I plan on doing, we've already shot a few, a new video once a week. I want to go deep. I like reels and shorts and that stuff. It's cool, but I really, really want to go deep at least once a week and show you behind the scenes in our business, what's working for us, what's working with our clients. So thank you for the best wishes about the shred. I'm 6 days away from having to run my next black belt call shirtless with my man boob jiggling if I don't hit 15%, so send me good vibes. You can download a copy of the workbook. There's a link in the description. You can grab that now. So why don't we get started, shall we? Thank you for the subscriptions. You make me proud and happy. Thank you so much. So let's get started. Like I said, the goal today is super straightforward. How to sell high price coaching with no sales calls, no sales team. We've run an amazing experiment the last 3 months. Not only did we match the sales team's numbers, but we actually sold more with a very, very simple model, which I'm kind of excited about. So three things we're going to cover. Number 1, offer. Number 2, sales process. Number 3, the marketing. Let's have some fun. So, by the way, I'm shitting myself. I've never gone live on YouTube before, so if I seem nervous, it's because I'm nervous. Let's do this. I want to kind of set a little bit of context here. Firstly, you've been lied to by all the gurus for forever that the only way to sell high price coaching is with a sales call. And frankly, I'm guilty of this too because I taught that because that's what I believed and that had been my experience until I had a client called Jackson. And he had a $2,000 product that was sold by his VA, just like send the details in chat, by email, and people would buy it. And then he had a $30,000 coaching program that was sold with a sales team who were highly trained full-timers to kind of crush high-ticket deals. And one day, Jackson told me that the sales team was pissed because the VA was stealing the clients by selling the high price thing without sales calls, just like, here's the details of the program, sent it, and people would buy it. And I was like, what? Because I used to believe that you had to, if your coaching program was $2,000 or less, you could sell it without a call, but if it was more, you needed a call, and it's just not true. So let me tell you about a little experiment that we ran. Let me go here. In your book, I'm going to bounce around a little bit. Here was the problem that we had. By the way, I really appreciate the feedback in the chat. I don't know if I just wasn't loved enough as a kid or whatever, but the more feedback I get, the better I do. So it's helping. So here was the problem we had. We had a 9-person sales team. And they worked really hard. I just want to be super clear. Nothing about this was about the sales team. It was about the sales process that was the problem. Okay? So I love them to bits. Every single one of them, a wonderful, wonderful person. 9 people on the sales team, and we'd run ads, and we get lots and 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 lots of leads. And we were filtering for a few things. We're looking for business coaches, more than life coaches or health coaches. And ideally, to sell black belt, we were looking for people who were making more than $10,000 a month. And so they would have to do a lot of filtering, a lot of kind of sifting and sorting through all these people to try to work out who are the good ones and who are the ones who aren't ready for that program or that offer yet. And so they would do a bunch of filtering really to work out, do they match black belt or not? And the ones who weren't would get offered a program via a doc, and these ones would go to a call. And it was really, really, really messy. It felt honestly like they were working incredibly hard. They were doing like 80% of the work for 20% of the results, but it was more like 96% of the work for 4% of the work. It just wasn't worth the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. And so we had a hypothesis, and the idea was, could we sell I'm nervous because my handwriting's even worse than normal. Could we sell black belt, which is, obviously there's a payment plan, but about a $30,000 program with 0 calls and even 0 people in the sales team. And we didn't know. So we decided to run a test for 30 days. Sorry, not 30 days, for 3 months. Let's call that 90 days, shall we? 3 months. And the experiment had the hypothesis had a couple of ideas behind it. The first one was, obviously I'd seen a bunch of clients sell stuff without calls and a couple of good friends doing the same thing. The other thing that I had in my head was, I think the more I shake, the more calories I burn. Thank you, Jonathan. That's very, very helpful. The other thing I thought was that, frankly, the best quality prospects, the ones you really want, don't want sales calls. They've been around a little while, and they know how the sales game works. I'm going to talk to somebody, I'm going to tell them my problems or my issues, and what my goals are, and where I'm stuck, and then they're going to take whatever I said and go, hey, if we've built this program to help people with this kind of problem, get these kind of results, and this is the process, and it's cool, it converts really well. But I think the best prospects don't need it. They just want okay, give me the facts, what's the fix, give me the plan, what's the fee, and they'll make their own decision. And so that was kind of the experiment. Here's what happened. This is where it gets kind of a little bit interesting. I think the core problem that we had, and frankly that you've probably got, is that if you think about your acquisition process, the balance between kind of marketing and sales. Actually, let's do it this way. Yeah. We were really sales heavy, and frankly, I think we were marketing light. The sales team was working so hard because, frankly, the marketing wasn't doing as good a job as it needed to do. And so, if we make a little purple line, we were down here. Sales had to do lots and lots and lots of heavy lifting because marketing wasn't as effective as it could have been. And it wasn't their fault, it was just a process issue. And so the experiment was, for 3 months, what would happen if we did this? So what we metaphorically did was we put the marketing team in a cupboard and locked the door for 3 months to see if we could kind of match their sales. Here's what happened. Every now and again, we still hear them banging on the door to try to get out. Here's what happened. At the end of 90 days, which is in a couple of days' time, it's the 27th of March here in Australia right now. So the experiment started at the start of this year. In January, we beat the sales team numbers. In February, we beat it again, for the second time. And then in March already, we beat them for the third time. It's not to the power of 2 or 3, but it looks cool. And I don't think we're going back, dude. This has been incredibly good. And so I've been completely blown away by this process, and that's what today is really all about. So here's what I want to know is, from the conversation we've had so far, let me know in the chat what's been most interesting, what's been most helpful. Frankly, why are you here? What do you want to know? Yeah, it's an actual legit experiment, scientific method style. So that's a little bit about why we did this. Into the chat, let me know what's... hey, Ross. It's great having so many friends here. I appreciate the hell out of you. Ross, I'm going to give you a shout out in a little bit because you helped me a lot with this. Let's talk about why this matters. We've been told that you need sales calls to sell expensive stuff, and it's just not 100% true. Oops. So we end up, like, we start this coaching business because we really want to help people. We want to coach, we want to do great work, but we end up, because of the model that we're all taught, having to spend hours on calls trying to convince people, trying to convince some poor schmuck to buy your stuff. I know it doesn't feel like that and you do great work and they're not schmucks, but you get the idea. We want to coach, but we end up on the damn phone or on Zoom selling things all the time. Or even worse, like we get to the point where we don't want to run sales calls anymore, and so we hire a team because that's what you have to do, and you end up like managing a call center, like a dysfunctional call center. You've got to hire these guys, you've got to train these guys and gals, you've got to manage them, then they're always moaning that there's not enough leads, or when there's too many leads, they're like, the leads aren't good. And you end up going like, I thought I got into this thing for freedom, and you're not anymore. You're running a call center. It's not, I don't know about you, dude, but that sounds awful. I worked in a call center once at Vodafone. It was not the best years of my life. So number one, if you don't get this right, you end up on the phone or on Zoom all the time. By the way, apparently you don't do that. I'm old. That's my phone signal. Apparently this is the new signal for phone. The kids do this. I do that. You know, those old ones. So you either like spend all your time trying to convince people, or you hire other people to do the convincing for you, and you end up, you end up like in a job that you didn't know you signed up for. And the truth is that your prospects hate the sales calls as much as you do. It's like everyone's eating their broccoli and no one's loving it. And so the problem with that model is that as the business gets bigger, your life gets less fun, it gets worse. You know, big business, unhappy guy. That's not what we want here. So if we do this right, here's what happens. Your marketing pre-sales people, okay? If we do this right, your marketing's job is to bring people into your world and then warm them up so that on a scale from like 1 to 10 in terms of how likely they are to sign up and give you money, that the marketing gets people to a 8 or a 9 or a 10, and then they look at the offer and they buy. And because you've done such a good job at the pre-selling, you don't need the call. So no sales team required. We buy so many things off the internet these days. Why should coaching be any different? And frankly, I think if we do this right, we make buying fun again. Nobody likes to be sold, but everybody likes to buy. Right? And so we want to build a business where as your business grows, your life gets better, not worse. Does this relate to anybody? Can you give me a little bit of feedback? I know there's a 30-second delay, I think, between when the words come out of my mouth and... okay, so let's have a quick look. What do we got? Thanks for the love. The job of marketing is to do most of the work. Yeah, good marketing makes sales easy and sometimes unnecessary, right? Dan's got a thing here. Let's have a look. Are you just moving the sales cost to a different line item? Are you digital marketing does the cost? Has it actually reduced your CAC? Yeah, of course it's reduced the CAC. And I'm going to explain exactly what's going on in just a moment. 1,000%. When we get to the sales process side, I think it'll really, really land. So isn't this like selling with webinars? No, there's no webinar, right? Yeah, it's just people are in your world. We're going to send an email. We're going to show some stuff on social, and then they're just going to read a piece of paper with your offer on it, and they're going to say yes. Cool? So I think that's probably enough of a setup. So let me show you where this fits, and then we're going to do the stuff. Thanks, Jan. I appreciate you. Bazoinga. Hey, can I just say, the YouTube seems to be working. You can hopefully see and hear me, sounds like you can, and I can read your chat. This is better than I thought. I thought it was going to be super awkward. Okay, so let's set a tiny bit of context. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I want to show you where this lives. My goal for you is that you build what we call a lifestyle empire. In the old days, you had to choose between, I'm going to build an empire, a big business, or I'm going to have a great life, or a great lifestyle, or a lifestyle business. But I think that's a false dilemma that we get put in, a false decision. Every business is a lifestyle business because every business impacts your lifestyle. And so if I was allowed to choose, I would have both a great big business that helps lots and lots of people and makes heaps of money, and a pretty fabulous life. So that's the goal. To make that happen, we're going to work on 3 core parts of your business. And to keep it simple, let's call the first one attract, how we generate leads. The second one is convert, where we're going to play today. And the third is deliver. So attract is our marketing engine, convert is how we convert prospects into clients, and deliver is how we get them results at scale. There's 3 core outcomes. We know we're doing the attract side well when we get leads every day. My handwriting is getting bigger, which probably means my nerves are dropping. Huzzah. The convert, so if we attract well, we get leads every day. If we convert well, we make sales every week. And when we deliver well, we get clients who stay for years. Right? Today, we're going to zoom into this side right here. And there are 3 core things that we're going to work on together. 3 things that have been working great for us. And I just want to show you how we're doing it. So the first thing that we're going to do, if we're going to make sales every week without sales calls, the first thing we want to do is we need to craft your offer. And so we worked super hard on this. I think it's got work to do, but craft an offer that is irresistible enough that somebody could literally, read it and then go, yep, I'm in. If the marketing and the offer are going to do the heavy lifting instead of sales team or sales person, then the offer's got to be, it's got to be sexy, it's got to be solid, and it's going to be doing a lot of the lifting, and it's got to answer all the questions that your sales calls or sales team used to. Just check in that chat. Yeah. Perfect. So number 1, we're going to craft the offer. We're going to work on that together in a moment. And we've got heaps of swipes for you. By the way, I should have said, in the workbook, which is in the description, not only will you get the notes here so you can follow along, but there's also some swipes and templates that you can steal for yourself as well. Number 1, craft the offer. Number 2, once we've got an offer that converts, we need to streamline the sales process. Most of us have got big, clunky, multi-step sales processes. Somebody books a call, in the traditional black belt sales process, they book a call. There's some stuff that happens on the thank you page. They show up to a triage call where we qualify in or out and we build some trust, and then they book a strategy session, a sales call where they buy. That's if they do what they're supposed to do, but they don't always do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes they land on the book a call page and they don't book, right? Or they book, and then instead of having the call, they don't show. And then if they do show, I live on the Noosa North Shore, and there's these little bugs called midgies. They're like a little fly thing, and they bite. They're not very fun. They just tried to bite me on the nose. So they show up on the call, and maybe they drop out. And then we book the sales call, and they either show up or they don't. And if they show up, they either buy that. And there's just lots of different places where people can fall out of the sales process. And the problem with having a multi-step sales process is it's engineered to maximize conversion, but it sucks for throughput. And so only a couple of, 1% of the people who start it, maybe it's more than 1%, but a very low percentage of the people who start the sales process actually even see the offer. And that's why sales is low. It's not that your conversion rate sucks, it's that you're giving people 17 steps, this gauntlet to run through before they even see the offer. Does that make any sense? And so we want to streamline the sales process so that everybody we want to sees the offer. Oh, I'm used to doing these things on Zoom, and Zoom does a great job of blocking out the dogs. I've got 2 border collies, and they bark at birds a lot, so forgive me. So we're going to streamline the sales process. And the third thing we're going to work on here is you can make some sales with a great offer. You'll make even more sales when we add a streamlined sales process. And the thing that turns it into sales every week is when we can drive campaigns and really create some demand. Okay? So this is every week. What do we do every single week to get people into this process to see the offer and become a happy client who gives you cash? That's where we're going today. So what I'd love to do is give you 5 keys for doing this well and show you how it's done. Shall we? Let's go here. All right, so 5 keys for doing this really well. The dog-inclusive YouTube model, honestly, I wish they'd shut the hell up. I love my dogs to bits, but they drive me a little bit mental sometimes. 5 key ideas. Okay, here's the first one. We're gonna have to do something about these damn dogs. Here's the first one. Each one of these is inspired. 1 second, I'm gonna yell at a hound. Hey, Lenny, you're gonna need to chill out, pup. Okay, each of these is inspired by a great friend. Most of them clients. So the first one's inspired by Dan Martell. Build the business you want. We talked before. Can you do me some favor? Are the dogs really loud? Because they're super loud for me, and if they are, I'm just going to send them outside and lock a door. Can you give me some dog feedback? This is hilarious. I hadn't factored in the dog factor. Julie says they're helping. I wish they weren't. Lenny's just agreeing. Yes, she is. Oh no, normally, yeah. I don't know how to mute on YouTube. Normally on Zoom, I'll hit mute and go, yeah, Lenny, shut up. So this is my people-friendly. Okay, someone's saying they're a bit loud. Now it's getting intense. Yeah, I just got a text saying, let's get rid of the dogs. Here's what I'd love you to do. I'm going to be 30 seconds. I'm going to get rid of these hounds. And what you're going to do is you're going to tell me in the chat what's been most interesting so far. And make sure you're subscribed. This is your subscription break. Back in a sec. Lenny, come. Leroy, come. Out you go. Here we are. Huzzah. Way too loud. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get back to this, shall we? The first big idea is you want to build the business you want. Dan Martell came to me, we met at Mastermind Talks maybe 10 years ago. And he built a SaaS business and wanted to get into coaching. Together we schemed up a coaching program called SaaS Academy. I've been coaching him for years and years. He's an incredible human being. And SaaS Academy is this massive beast of a business. It's now run by an incredible team. And there's coaching calls every day, and there's an amazing squad, and there's live events, and there's a lot. It's fantastic. It's now run pretty much without him, so that, which kind of freed up a bunch of time for him to build a new business. And the new business was deliberately designed to give him the kind of money and time, impact and lifestyle that he really wants. And this is in your book here, Lifestyle Empire Matrix. If we just come over here for a second, and you think about your business, kind of on 2 axes for a sec. Let's do the first one. First one's business. Up here, it's making great money. It's an empire. Down here, it's a little bit smaller and it's making less money. And then we've got life, right? And your business is either complex and frustrating, or it's simple and fun. Most coaching businesses, when we start, we're down here. You know, we're not making much money. We're trying to learn all the pieces, and it's hard, right? What a lot of coaches do is, as their business grows, we just add more and more complexity to it, and we end up in this weird spot right here. It's it's a traditional empire model, right? So business is making great money, but it's really complicated, and as the business gets bigger, life gets worse, not better. A lot of other businesses, we might make this guy yellow. A lot of other coaches end up going, you know what, that's a bit hard. I want lifestyle. And so they build this lifestyle business, which is awesome because they've got a great life, but they're not making the kind of money they want. And what we want to do is we want to combine the best bits of empire with the best bits of life. We end up with that lifestyle empire idea where we've got tons of clients, tons of income, tons of money, but business is simple as well. And I think this shows up in all sorts of places, but it especially shows up in one of the most complex parts of your coaching business, which is the getting of clients. And so the big idea here is, regardless if you're here or you're here or you're here, the goal is that we, number one, simplify, so that number two, we can multiply. We simplified the hell out of our marketing and sales process, and it ended up not just being simpler, but getting way better results in terms of new clients signed. So that's kind of where we're going. The big lesson I got from Dan is build the business you want. There's nothing more powerful than a coach who's admitted to themselves what they really want, and I wanted big, but way simpler than we had. That's kind of big idea number one. Let's go to number two. This one I learned from Elon, and I just wanted to say, Elon Musk is a controversial cat. He's a bit polarizing right now, and there's a lot of people who hate him, and I don't know him personally. If you think about, forget all of the Doge stuff for a minute. I know that's a super spicy hot topic, and I apologize for bringing it up. But if you think about Elon and rocket ships, just forget about bad Elon for a minute and Nazi Elon and all the bad Elons. Let's just think about rocket ship Elon, SpaceX Elon. Can we do that? Is that all right? Can we just, everyone's got great things and not great things, and just bear with me on this. If you think about the way Elon approaches sending rockets into space, his approach to engineering is completely different. He's got 5 key rules, and the first rule is to question the the design requirements, question not the regulations, but the these are all the things you're supposed to do to send a rocket into into space. And he is that really true? We got to question the idea that you have to sell with a sales call, because you don't. We've just proved that you don't. And number two, he removes a bunch of the steps, right? Removes a bunch of the parts of the process. And we removed all of the steps in the sales process. There's almost no sales process. People read a thing on email or on social, and then they click a link and they read a doc and they buy or they don't buy. But there's not multiple steps, because the more steps we add, the more things can break, the more leakages, the more steps in the funnel, the more opportunities there are for somebody to not do the thing that we want them to do. Yeah, you're right. Is the requirements. Thank you, Leah. That's the word I was looking for, the requirements. The old requirement was, in order to sell something over $2,000, we must jump on a sales call, and it's just not accurate. So question, is that true? what would this look like if it was easy? If it was easy, people would read a thing and they'd buy it. Okay? So the second thing we're going to do here is we're going to remove some leaks out of your sales process. And frankly, the way we're going to do that is by taking an axe, actually, Elon style. We're going to take a chainsaw to your sales process. We're just going to cut the thing off. I'm not saying you need to do this. We did, but it was a 3-month experiment. You don't have to do the whole thing, but that's what we've done, and it's been incredibly good. What would happen if all of the stuff that we've been told about how to sign clients wasn't actually necessary? Number 3. Move the fulcrum. Okay, this is big. If they don't buy, do you add a final option for a call? Well, you can, but we don't. But you can, but we don't. By the way, in no form am I saying you must, should, ought to do this. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's your life, bro. It's your life, cuz. I'm just telling you what we're doing. Is that all right? I don't want a backup option for a call, at least not right now, because if I did, I'd have calls and sales team, and they're the two things I'm trying to get rid of. Okay, I want simple, and I'd rather sign less clients than have complex. And the truth is that by making it simple, I don't have less clients, I have more clients, not because the conversion rate's better, because the conversion rate is better on a call, but just because more people actually see the offer. Is that all right? Tony's giving me some kind of message about sliding the paper to the right. Oh, that might have been from before. Let's move on. Okay, so the third big idea is we're going to move the fulcrum, and this is a biggie. This is my mate, Kevin Hutto, who I love. This is the shot I took of him tasting Vegemite for the first time, and he freaking hated it. One of the best marketing guys I've ever met. And he made me realize a big idea that I'd love to kind of walk you through right now. So if this is, if this side of the fulcrum is, of the seesaw is your prospect, and this is you, there's two things working against you on the prospect side. There's their disbelief. Let's make this red. Their disbelief, like they don't believe you and they've been burnt before, and there's your price. Those two things are making it harder for you to make the sale. You know, it's a high price thing and they don't believe you. But we've got two tools in our arsenal as marketers of our coaching program. You've got your offer and your sales ability, right? And so as your, as your price gets bigger, what typically we do is we increase the sales ability. So if something's like $100, we sell it on a sales page. It doesn't need much sales ability. As the offer gets bigger and it's like in the thousands, well, that's why we invented sales webinars, right? When the thing's in the tens of thousands, then the sales ability needed to change as well, and we went to events or sales calls. And so typically that's kind of how we've thought about this thing. For every increase in price or complexity of the offer, we need to increase the sales ability as well. But almost no one's thinking about this. What if we didn't have to increase the sales ability? What if we could still sell it off a page and we just work on the offer? Okay? So first big idea is we've got two levers we can pull, sales ability and offer. Mostly we work on our sales skills, it's fine. But if we make the offer irresistible, things get good. But there's a second piece which blows me away. And almost nobody talks about this. My buddy Kevin showed this to me before he passed away a few years ago. And it's this. What nobody talks about is the fulcrum itself. And the fulcrum really is the context that your prospects have about you before they see the offer. And so I want you to think about this. Let's say we're selling a fitness program and we've got two people. The first person, the first kind of person trying to sell this fitness program is a local, overweight PT who's unknown. In that case, people don't have much context about him. And so he's got to work way harder at the offer and the sales ability to make an offer. And so he's probably going to cheap price, giving away like free months or free 6 weeks or free whatevers, working really, really hard, right? It's going to be much more difficult for that person to sell because they don't have much context. They're unknown and they're local. On the flip side, imagine way down here, it's Arnie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, the muscles. Let's go, muscles. Even though Arnie's like in his 70s probably now, if Arnie said, hey, I'm running a thing, come to my house for a day, we're gonna eat together, we're gonna train together, I'm gonna answer all of your health, fitness and physique questions, and it's 20 grand. How hard do you reckon Arnold Schwarzenegger would have to do to sell that thing out? Like there's 10 spots, it's 20 grand. He could tweet that and it'd be full in about 2 seconds flat. Why? Because he's got context. And so the solution to a lot of this stuff, the reason that our experiment worked so well is because we started to build context by making the marketing do the heavy lifting before they saw the offer. Does that make sense? If you really want this thing to pop, the better we do at moving the fulcrum to the left, giving people more bandwidth with you before they see the call, the magic happens. Yeah, Kevin's a gold. Sorry, Phil. Thank you. He was one of my best friends. I miss him terribly. So I wanted to honor him here because it's a great idea and he was a fucking legend. Move the fulcrum. Next. Next, once the marketing's doing its job, what we're going to do is we're going to make a silent offer. I learned this from Dean Jackson. I reckon one of the greatest marketers on the planet. Make a silent offer. Again, what we want to do is we want to be able to make an offer that sells itself. So I want you to imagine you're in a meeting room, super futuristic and modern. It's dead silent, but the walls are white. It's beautifully lit. And there's 2 chairs and a little white coffee table, and you're sitting in one chair. Okay? The door silently slides open. That wasn't silent, but it was close to. Perfect prospect walks in, sits down across from you. And the rules are really simple. You're not allowed to talk, and they're not allowed to talk either. You're not allowed to write anything, and they're not allowed to write anything either. The only thing you're allowed to do is take your offer on a sheet of paper, slide it across the desk, silently towards them. They're allowed to pick it up and read it, and at the end, they're either going to go, that means they're in, or they're out, and then they leave. If you had to put your offer on a sheet of paper and slide it towards them right now, would they say yes? Or would they shake their head? It's got to be good enough that if you put it in front of 10 people, 3 would nod their head and be in without saying a word. Cool? Gabriel said, did you just say bandwidth? Yeah, bandwidth is the number of minutes that your prospects spend consuming your content before they see an offer. Okay? How do you move the volume? How do you move the fulcrum? Topic for another conversation. We'll share a little bit about it. Okay, so if you wrote down your offer right now and slid it across the table and gave it to 10 people, how many of the 10 would say yes based on how good your offer is right now? Can you type that into the chat? I'd love to know. While you're doing that, fifth big idea. Once we've got an offer that's great and some bandwidth, so the fulcrum's moving and a sales process where there's no leaks, then our job is to drive some volume. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run a weekly campaign. I was tossing up which photo to use here. Years ago, I invented a thing called the weekly client machine. It was like Imagine the product launch, like Jeff Walker's product launch formula. What we did, we took our content plan and we turned it into a 1-week launch. It would start on Monday, it would finish on Friday. It was all focused on one theme, one topic, one big idea for a week, all like building to a crescendo on Friday where we'd make the ask. That's what we're gonna do here. The image that I ended up using me, because I've got a big fat ego, but I could have put Ross O'Loughlin, who I've been working with the last, I don't know, maybe almost a year, on my writing. And together, on Fridays, we scheme up the campaigns for the week to come. And so what we're doing is we're driving eyeballs and attention each week, building up to the place where they read the doc and they buy the thing. That's the idea. Cool? Yeah, so on a score, some people are saying 1 out of 20. Hidden Buddha says 8 out of 10, 2 out of 10. It needs work. Working on that, but maybe 3. Okay, cool. Amazing. So our job is to create an offer that does that. So I think that's enough. Hopefully that's enough context. I've been banging on about this for a little while. Let's get practical and make the thing. There's one big idea that I want you to get that is from a super smart cat called Naval Ravikant, who said, you're doing sales because you failed at marketing. If we can get the marketing piece right, the sales calls are completely unnecessary. So let me answer a question I got by email about should I sell with calls or should I not? Who's this right for? Let me just find some blank paper. I want to answer this quickly and then jump into the how-tos. I apologize for the elaborate build-up. Shit, man, I just need some paper. You know what, I'm just going to scribble down here. Okay, so let's go calls. No calls. What's the advantage of calls? Well, conversion rate is higher. That's great. I think you should do calls when you're getting started. Is the first person who should probably sell with calls. If you're just getting started, sales calls are fantastic because not only is the conversion rate higher and you don't have a big enough audience to, don't have a great size audience yet, but when you're getting started, the thing you need more than anything else is you need to learn your market. You need to learn their fears and their frustrations and their wants and their aspirations. You need to learn the language. You need to dial in your offer. And the best way to do that is in conversation with prospects. If you're just getting started, I think that's how you start. You start on calls because you learn heaps. The second time you should use calls is if you want to. I know that sounds dumb, but it's true. If you love selling on calls, do it. And if you want to build an empire where the whole thing is, where there's a machine and you, the founder, aren't that involved, I think do it. That's when you should do calls. When you should not do calls is like, frankly, when you're over it. When you want simple. When you want to sell more, but do less. Okay, so you can decide if you want to do them or not. This isn't a you should, this is a you could, and here's how we. Is that all right? Kevin says, 7.6. Nice. All right, let's get tactical and practical. We've talked about context fulcrum. Where do we go from here? Okay, so I said at the start, there are 3 things we're going to do today. We're going to craft your offer, we're going to streamline your sales, and we are going to drive the campaigns. Let's just spend a little bit of time on each of these. Stop calls when the empire becomes a vampire. Yeah, I think empire and vampire is a really great play on words. I think that's good. So let's do this. Let's work on your offer together right now. And again, this is in the PDF. You can grab that. And I'll show you how to do it. So how do we design an offer? People buy or don't buy based on 2 factors. They buy or don't buy based on frankly, the perceived risk of working with you and the reward. For some reason, my paper's cutting off. Let me move that guy over. There we are. Okay, risk and reward. And so every great offer factors in both of those two things. It factors in how do we make the reward as clear and juicy and sexy as possible, and then it removes the risk. So there's 5 core elements to a great offer. And so what I want you to do is, as we do this, for each one, you'll understand what it is, and just give yourself a quick score like we're at a traffic light. Oops, I can do better. It's either green, this is great, I'm crushing it, it's super solid, or it's amber, or yellow, orange, whatever. I'm just going to call it yellow. Is that okay? It's easier. Yellow, it's okay, but could use some work. Or red, this really needs some help. So as we go through these, just give yourself a quick score. It'll show you kind of where to tweak. So the 5 core elements. Let's do the reward side first. First, most important thing is, what's the promise? Oops. What's the promise? If I work with you, I don't just want to work with you, I want to get an outcome. And so it should be really clear when they read your offer, if I do this, what do I get? And I don't just mean the deliverables. In fact, I don't mean the deliverables at all. I mean, what's the promise of working with you? And if you want to be a little bit advanced around this stuff, when people work with you, there's usually some kind of big, shiny, amazing outcome that they get at the end of working with you, and that's cool, but it's 2025. Nobody wants to wait a year or 2 for it to get good. So usually what we'll do is we'll have a phase 1, which is what happens in the first week or 30 or 60 days. Then there's a phase 2, and then phase 3 is your big, sexy promise. First, next, and then. Okay, so what's the promise? Ideally, we want a promise that's so clear, we can point to the outcome, you got this thing. And so if you're a fitness coach, the first thing might be, or you work with people on weight loss, like the cravings stop within, by day 3, there's no more cravings. I'm making this up, I'm not a fitness coach. So that's phase 1, craving stop, and you start to lose weight. Phase 2 is you get a 6-pack. This is the phase I'm in right now. They're desperately hoping for a 6-pack. Phase 2, you see visible abs and you get a 6-pack. I can feel them, but they're buried under a layer that's got to go. And phase 3, we get you in the best shape of your life, blah, 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 blah. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is kind of a nice way to think about promise. The second thing on the reward side of your offer are, what are the bonuses? And I know that bonuses are things that we often think about for products, but a coaching program should have bonuses too. And I don't mean stuff. The bonuses should be things which are specifically designed to help people get the result faster, easier, or better. So these are accelerants. Okay, think about what are the things we can do to make people get the outcome you promised quicker, easier, better. What can we put into the offer that makes people go faster? Okay, makes their life better. Amazing. Offer scripts are hard to read in the PDF. That's okay, I'll show you some links. Okay, don't stress. I might even be able to screen share it. We'll see how we go when we get there. The most important thing for you right now is, if you think about your promise, give it a quick traffic light score. Is it green, yellow, or red? Is it clear? Is there a phase 1, 2, 3? Bonuses. What have you got that makes people go faster, easier, or better, if anything? If not, that's a red. If they're okay, it's a yellow. If it's good, mark it green. On the risk reduction side, then how do we reverse the risk or remove the risk? What's the guarantee? And the guarantee is basically you saying, I'll get you this in this time, or that happens. So what's the or that will happen? How do you make it safe? You don't have to guarantee the whole thing, but you can guarantee the start enough for people to, you just need to put a guarantee in place to make it easy for people to start. So I'll show you some examples of these as we go. I probably should have given you some examples live. The promise of Black Belt is really easy. It helps people build a 7-figure lifestyle empire. We get people to $1 million a year. That's what its job is, right? But that's one of those big promises that happens in the future, isn't it? $1 million later, that's cool, but what about now? So it's designed to help people pay for the whole program is paid for and free in the first 30 or 60, 90 days at the absolute max, but it's designed to be 60 days. In other words, they've made more than enough that it pays for the stuff, and everything else we do after that is free. Phase 2 is it adds $10,000 a month, and then its job is to add $10,000 a month 3 times a year at minimum until we get to $1 million, right? That's the promise. What's the guarantee? Well, the guarantee is at the end of 60 days, phase 1, you're either going to be on track and loving it or not. And if not, let's just tear up the agreement, walk away as friends. That's like an example of guarantee. And there's lots of ways you can do it, but that's an idea. What else can we do to make it easier for people to say yes? Well, the second thing on the risk side is we can set up a payment plan that makes the payments easy, okay? One of the risks is, well, man, that's a lot of money to put up front before I've tried it. So we can do payment plan, whether it's monthly payments or it's weekly payments or it's a 2-pay, a 3-pay, or whatever. We can play with payments and make it easier for people to say yes. So those two things take care of the risk side, and these two things take care of the reward side. What's left? Well, what's left is this little pinch point down the bottom. It could be the best offer in the world, but people still need a reason to do it now. And so the last piece is urgency and scarcity. Urgency is limited number. I can work with this many people, and scarcity is this amount of time. And so you've got a little map here of 5 things that you can tweak to make your offer better. And what we do is we take the sorry, I'm just looking at the comments. What we do is we take these 5 ingredients, we design them and make them better, and then we put them into a doc. Before we go any further, questions, feedback, comments. What are you learning? What are you loving? What do you appreciate so far? How are we doing? Wesley says, how can we see your offer, Taki? I've got a couple of my team here. I'm sure we could put a link to the Black Belt doc in the chat, and you can have a quick look. Do you get many pay in fulls from offer docs? If you offer it. I don't offer it. Okay, but you can if you want to. Okay, so we take the ingredients from this thing and then we pour them into our silent offer. And so this is a bit fuzzy. I'm going to zoom in. Hopefully it'll be okay. I think you'll be able to understand it. This is what some of it looks like. And all I'm going to do is just call out a few key elements. Please understand that I'm just doing show and tell here. You don't need to buy anything. There's nothing for sale. Is that cool? Can I go over an example of the 1, 2, 3? Yeah, I'm about to do it right now. So this is our April Black Belt group. The kickoff starts next week. And so there's the doc that tells people about that. I want to call out a few key things. Number 1, what's this? We wanted 7 clients, there's 4 spots left. So that's scarcity, and it's real, we won't take more than 4. And applications close on this day, on the 27th, which is tomorrow here in Australia, right? That's urgency. Is it real urgency? Yeah, because we've got a kickoff call next Tuesday, and if you join later, you don't get on the kickoff call. Miriam says, what if we offer something where we can't guarantee a result in a clear time frame? I bet you can. That's the thing. People think that it's easier for business coaches because we can point to more money, or fitness coaches because we can point to abs. Every offer has a result we can point to. We just need to get better at figuring out what's the, like if that's the meta concept, what's the macro, what's the micro concrete example? Hey, Mikey, I appreciate that. Someone on the team, Michael or Tony, has posted as me. If you want to see the current Black Belt offer doc, you can have a read of it there and it'll just show you. What I'm about to show you is basically it, I think. So here's what we're doing. So that's urgency and scarcity, which is this piece of the doc marked off. Is this helpful, by the way? I feel like I'm banging on. Here's the promise. Okay? Work with a few people to build a lifestyle empire. Goal is $1 million, 4 days a week. That's, I like to do 4-hour days, 4 days a week. Leads every day, sales every week, clients who stay for years like we've been talking about. So that's the promise. Okay, a little bit of context. I'm just going to call out a few key pieces. So it's a small group. This is a really important piece to put in. If you do your best work with a particular kind of person, make sure you've got a section about who it's for and who it's not for. Okay? If you're selling by doc, it's harder to be choosy. One of my big fears when we did this was, what if the wrong people get in? And instead of like triaging them out before the sales call, now people pay and they fill in an application form. If the application looks off, we just refund and say thanks, but no thanks. And then our first 60 days, where there's the love it or leave it period, is a chance for us to say great match or not great match as well. Here's how we do it. The plan. So do you remember up here, we talked about phase 1 and 2 and 3? Yeah, so the plan's simple. Phase 1, 2 months of leads, clients, money. First 2 months are tactical, blah, 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 blah. Here's what we do in the launch plan. I just realized I've got the wrong date there because I forgot to edit that piece. Let's call that April 1. Here's what we do. So phase 1, we're going to do these things. Phase 2 is about strategy and growth. Here's what we do, and here's the outcome. Phase 3 is scale, and we map out the process step by step by step. Okay? Next, risk reversal guarantee. So this is the payment plan. $1,500 to get started, $2,000 in a month, $2,500 a month after that. After that, we go month to month as long as you're loving it. It's a profitable addiction. Most people stay for years and years and years. And it pays for itself in the first 60 days. If at the end of phase 1, you don't love it, or we don't think it's right, either of us isn't feeling it, we just tear up the agreement and walk away as friends. Okay, as long as we're good, we move on to da-da-da. So that's that piece. Quick facts, here's what to do. People click here to apply. And that's kind of the walkthrough. PS, as soon as you decide, we give you access to 10K in 10 minutes. It's a cash injection series, 6 short videos. Each one's less than 10 minutes to learn, 10 minutes to do, and they're designed to add 10K to your bank account. That's how we help clients get quick wins. So that's a quick look at an offer doc. And what I would love you to do is just give me some feedback in the comments. What about that stood out for you? What did you notice? What did you like? What did you learn? And bonus, little power up for you. If you want an offer doc template, just in Google Doc form that you can steal and tweak for you, there's a link in the worksheet. You can just click this button right here and you can open it up in Google Docs. Just make a copy and edit it. I think it'll help you out. This is great. You're definitely in the flow now. Huzzah. Nice to finally nail it an hour in. Okay, so we said that there was 3 things we're going to do. Number 1, craft an offer. Number 2, the second thing that we want to work on together, is streamline the sales process. So let's jump into a little bit of that. Do you ever put visuals into your sales model? Yeah, you can definitely put images in. Some of ours do, some of ours don't. If you like to draw, like me, it could be really, really helpful for you. Okay, so let's talk about streamlined sales. We've got 2 conflicting approaches here. There's the old way, and there's a newer, better way. I'm just getting some messages here. Check this out. Doing well, laughing that you're worried about making to an hour. You'll be lucky to finish it in under 2, but it's totally fine. No, I reckon give us 30 minutes, we'll be done. Tony, can you resend me that 17-step sales process checklist? Because that was pretty funny. Okay, old way. At its most basic, most book a call processes look like this. There's some content or some ads, and people land on a schedule page where they can book a call. There's a triage call. There's a strategy session. And at the end of that process, if all things go well, we've got a happy client who gives you money. That's the theory. And so what we love to do is we love to talk about the throughput of a model like this where the prospect does exactly what they're supposed to do. They land on the call and they actually do. They land on the page and they book a call. Or they, so they land on the thing, they book a call, they actually show up to the triage call and they show up well and they qualify. Then they go to the strategy session and then but what about all the times where they don't do the thing they're supposed to do? Like they land and they don't book a call. So some people just leaked out. Or they book a call, but they don't show up. Or they jump on the triage and they decide not to take it further. Or they do decide to take it further, but they don't show up to that call. Or they jump on the thing and they don't buy. There's just so many freaking leaks in this process. Every time we've got multiple steps in a sales process, the more steps there are, if you think about steps are leakage points. Every time there's a decision tree where I could do this or I could do that, the more of those there are, the more chances there are for people to bail. And so over the course of time, as you kind of run people through this process, we just get less and less and less and less and less and less. And right here, where they actually see the offer, by the time you get to that stage, you've lost everybody because a lot of the people didn't do the thing you wanted them to do. Does this make sense? So, Elon's got this great quote. Possibly the most common error of a smart engineer is to optimize a thing that shouldn't exist in the first place. And this is his design process that I think is super great if we apply it to our sales processes. Number 1, make the requirements less dumb. And the requirement used to be, you need a call. Question, do we? Well, let's try without it. Then what we want to do is we want to delete parts of the process. So which bits did we delete? Well, in our world, instead of content and ads and maybe emails as well, pushing people through this gauntlet, we just went content and emails to the offer doc. So the only thing that can happen that stops people from seeing the offer is if they don't click the link in the content or the emails. That's fine. So even though in this process your conversion is high, but your eyeballs on the offer are low. In this case, conversion rate is going to be lower, probably, but everybody sees the offer. Does that make sense? So, we make the requirements less dumb. Do you really need a call? You probably don't. Let's remove the process. In our world, we removed all of the process. And so now we've just got email, like email or content, and then the doc. And we deleted this step and that step and this step and that step and this step and that step and this step. It's just simple. So then we simplify or optimize. This has been an experiment for us for 3 months, and we've tweaked many, many things. Many things. We've changed the offer multiple times. We've changed the frame up. We've changed the payment process from apply, then pay, And now it's just like land on the thing, read it, and at the bottom, they pay first and then they apply. Why? Because in our world, maybe not for you, but for us, it worked better. The conversion rate was lower, but we numerically got more clients because we did this. And then we just accelerate. In our world, we're running this campaign weekly across Black Belt, Boardroom, our workshops, etc. There's a great question from Lance. If you've got thoughts about this team, bang them into the chat. What's the reasoning for it being a Google Doc and not a website with the same information? What's your thoughts? Then we want to automate this as much as possible. We had a team of 9 doing this, and now we've got simple automated process, and it's completely hands-on. Yeah, the application at the end is to confirm great fit or not. Okay, so the question was, why is this in a doc, not a sales page? Well, sales pages are fancy, but people are used to looking at a sales page in a particular sort of a way, and people are used to reading documents in a different way, and we treat them differently. A document looks more casual. I think it's more personal. I think sales pages are designed to be impressive, and sales docs are designed to be influential. In our world, it just works better. Cool? Yeah, the sales team's still in the closet. So, like I said, the new sales process goes like this. It's emails and content to the doc. And at the end of the doc, they choose to, I'm in, or no thanks. Both ways are completely fine. All right. I said at the start that our job today was to do 3 things. Number 1, craft an offer. Number 2, to streamline sales. And we're going to streamline sales by, frankly, like detonating current sales process. You can do that if you want to, but you don't have to. And number 3, to drive campaigns. Each week we pick one of our offers. You know, it's Black Belt or it's Boardroom. It could be clients, or it could be one of our weekly workshops, monthly workshops rather. And we run a campaign to do this. I learned a ton. What's the CTA from the doc? Join us is the CTA. So they click to apply. Okay. Yeah, the CTA is apply, and literally what that means, like I said down here, hopefully. Oops. Yeah, at the end of reading the thing, in our world currently, they click a button and they pay money, and then they fill in the application questionnaire so we can filter them in or out. Okay. Last piece is about these campaigns. I've worked a ton with a super good guy called Ross O'Loughlin, helping with my email writing. And one of the things we do each week is we design a campaign. So I want to give Ross a big shout out here. If you think about an average month as having 4 weeks, all we want is that every single week we're running a campaign to an offer. And so, obviously, the most obvious offers are, number 1, to your program. And if you're under $1 million a year, you should have 1 program, not 2 or 5 or 7. So in our world, our business is 8 figures, not 6 figures, and so we're mixing it up a little bit. But let's say this is to your program. For us, that might be Black Belt. Once a month, we'll do something for Boardroom, which is our mastermind for people doing 7 or 8 figures a year. We'll run a workshop, and maybe we do one for our clients program, which is for people who are getting started, right? And so each week, we pick one of those things, and we go, what's the theme for the week? And we write a campaign about it. So I got this from Ross. And we pick an offer, let's say it's black belt, and we pick a theme. So like, what are we going to say so we're not saying the same thing every single week? We pick a theme. And so if you've got a model, you know, a model that explains your program, just pick one of the things around the outside, and that's your theme. In this case, this week's theme has been what? It's been how to sell without sales calls or a team. And my offer was come to the YouTube, right? But it's the same idea. And then we brainstorming for different elements. Number one, what are all the problems that people have if they don't get this bit right? Okay, so the solution to the problem with sales calls, you know, this workshop has been all about the problem with sales calls. So it's like, well, you have to manage a whole bunch of people. That was an email. Being on calls all day sucks, right? Your prospects hate them. So we just make a list. What are all the problems? Number two, what proof have you got? And I told you about our experiment. I told you about Jackson. There's tons more, but they were the two that, that I ran with. Philosophy. Simple equals better. So we just brainstorm, like, what's the philosophy? What do you believe about this thing? Your best prospects don't want one. Right? We just make a list. What's the plan? Well, the plan, if you remember from our triangle, was on the attract side, on the convert side rather, offer, sales, streamline sales process, and drive campaigns. And that's the plan. And so at the start of a week, I just think about, like, what's the offer and what's the theme from up here? And then all the problems I can think of, what proof have we got? What do I believe about the thing? What's the plan? And then we just pick the ones that we're excited about. You know, that one, and this one, and that one, and this one. And when once we know what we're excited about, then we just make a weekly plan. You know, like a campaign plan for that week. The first email is usually an announcement. Hey, I'm doing this thing. Or a Dean Jackson style 9-word email. Are you interested in selling without sales calls? Or I'm thinking about running a YouTube live on how to sell without sales calls. Would you like to join us? Right? Whatever the announcement is, or a 9-word email with a question. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we just do like our problem email, our proof email next, whichever one you picked from this list, whichever one was exciting for you. Philosophy, and then the plan. And maybe there's some like countdowns, like 24 hours to go, 12 hours to go, 2 hours to go, if it's date-based, right? And that's the process, that's the plan. So this is what I wanted to walk you through today. This is how we're able to sell high-price coaching without sales calls. We locked the team of 9 in a cupboard for 3 months. We've outsold them in January, and outsold them in February, and outsold them again in March. I'm pretty freaking juiced about it, to be super honest. So here's an invitation for you. Whether you're selling with calls or not, I think this doc thing has got legs for you. And so what I would do if I were in your shoes is I would take my offer diamond and figure out how can I sex up my promise, my bonuses, my guarantee, my payment plan, my urgency and scarcity. Sex up the offer, and then take the doc template that I gave you in the thing and write yours. It might be worth sending it to some prospects. And if you are still selling on calls, you could send it to people who didn't say yes. Like, what have you got to lose? You might find, like I have, that it's more fun, that it sells better, and then you have a really, really good time and you can grow your business like we have without it. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to do. Thanks for hanging out with me live on YouTube today. We're going to be dropping a new vid every week, and they're going to be way shorter than this. I think we've got 3 or 4 in the can, and Sean, the videographer, is coming over today to get the next couple because we're off to Japan in a week or 2. If you want some help or you have some questions, bang them in the chat right now. I'm going to stick around and answer them. The only ask I've got is that you subscribe to the channel so I can let you know, what is it? Subscribe and hit the bell, 2025 style, or whatever they say. let me know. Hit the sub button and the bell, and if there's something I can do for you right now, ask away in the chat. I'm going to stick on for a couple of minutes and help you out. Thanks for all the love. Has it been okay? Give me some feedback. What'd you learn? What'd you love? What would you like to share? You're welcome. Would this be good for a new offer? It's good for any offer. Please don't make a new offer just to test this thing out. Take the thing you already sell. Michael and Tony say epic, biased. I work with these guys. Appreciate you. Will the live video be online to watch again? Yep, we're on YouTube. That's how this thing works. It's now recorded, and I have no idea what the process is, but it should be there, and you can watch it anytime you want to. Subscribe and share. Thank you. Schematical. Damn, I just got here. Don't stress, bro. You can watch the whole thing. It'll be ready for you whenever you want it. You rock. Was great. I was adverse to the Google Doc, but I understand how it works now. Yeah, perfect. How can I transition from the model, ad setter, sales calls to the Google Doc? Well, here's what I would say. You don't have to kill what you're currently doing to start. We can ride two horses for a little bit. It's tricky, to be honest. I tried that last year and it was hard. But if you've got ads running, you've got an audience that you've been building. And so what I would do, Max, is I would leave my current process for new people as they click on the ads and the setter reaches out. And I would just run this for the audience that you've built. I'd run this for the audience that you've built up over time. Specifically, email to the audience that you've built. Does that make sense? I might see you in Japan. Yeah, we're off on the 4th of April to the 20th. So if you're around, hit me up on Instagram. Okay, Curious Joe, great question. What's the balance between giving a good guarantee and getting committed clients? Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Easy in, easy out. Maybe your guarantee is, if you believe that guarantees are stupid, the guarantee is like, I guarantee if you don't do this, you're going to be stuck in the same place in a year's time. So there's no guarantees. I'm just going to give you, I guarantee you'll get there better, faster with me than you would on your own. If that's your thing, totally okay. All you want to do is think about the options and make sure you look at it as a lens. Okay? Yep, this is going to be in YouTube forever. Hopefully the jokes age okay. When am I coming to Kelowna? I was there a couple of years ago. I love Kelowna. I don't know when I'm coming. Don't know when I'm coming back. Juvenile. If I'm in the process of reviewing my offer, do you still recommend me try the offer doc with the new one? I'll have no previous numbers to clarify, to validate its effectiveness. Okay, so if it's a brand new offer, the way we test an offer, we do the safe check, which is how does it map up against the diamond, but then we do the actual validation, which is put it in front of some people and see what they say. Okay, that's how we validate. The best market feedback isn't hey, what do you think? It's like, will they open their wallet and give you money? So I've got US dollars in my, that's so dumb for an Aussie. Shows how often I use my wallet. The ultimate test is, do they open their wallet and sign up? Hey David, it's up to you. The most important thing is you find a cadence that you can personally commit to. For me, it's 5 days a week, and I take weekends off mostly. But if you've been sending 0 times, let's start with 1 or 2. If you've been sending 2 and you can sustain that, great, or maybe 3. Should I send the post to my closed group or to my open profile? Yes. All the things in all the places. Okay, I've got a lot of 5,000 followers on LinkedIn, but not a lot of engagement. Have you seen engagement increase with this? Yeah, this is a conversion piece. And so Will you get more engagement? Yes, because all of a sudden there's a directionality and a thing for people to do. Is this an engagement play? No, it's a conversion play. And so the content still wants to be great. For me, I'm thinking about fun and useful is my mantra, and the more fun and useful my stuff is, the better it does engagement-wise. You just pick the words that are for you, but just understand that what we've just talked about is a convert piece more than it's a marketing piece. I'm not super worried about likes and engagement, really. I want to feel proud of the stuff, and I want to make sure that the right people are seeing it and being able to buy. Yep, BGT, that's exactly what I said. All right, how are we doing? I think we're good. If your offer isn't working, how do you troubleshoot it? Back to basics, always. How do you troubleshoot? Here. Yeah, whoops, wrong button. Yeah, how do you troubleshoot? Take your offer and give it an honest look here. If you want some help, show it to some peers. Give them the framework and get them to score it. If somebody's looked at it and hasn't bought, ask them why. I guarantee you're going to learn a ton. Wesley says, where do free and paid workshops fit into this? Okay, so free and paid workshops are one of the campaigns we run once a month. Paid workshops are. And I don't need a doc for that, although at the end of the workshop or during the workshop, I'll give people the document and invitation to work with us. Taylor says, how quickly do you review applications to get them in? Is Black Belt a rolling start, or do you have a single entry day for each month's joiners? We have a single kickoff date, so people can apply all the way through. We have like an open period and a closed period, but the first Tuesday of the month, our new clients kick off. Is how we do it. Again, you do you. For us, I like having a group start all together. It makes my life simple, and they get to start the journey with others instead of doing it solo. Can I share my tech setup? Yeah, but not in 3 minutes. So I'll see what I can do. I'm using there's a lot going on here, hey. There's a camera here. There's another camera here. There's a camera up there somewhere. But you can file that under things which will make you look 5% cooler but won't make you really any more money, but are quite fun to do, okay? All right, let's call this done. Only problem I've got is I don't know how to stop the YouTube live. So let me fumble around for a minute and see if I can find out how to do that. Oh, here we go. I think I found the button, but